Hey guys, Joe here, and here we are to learn how to play Bowser in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, as we all know. Now, Bowser did just barely get a good buff, of course, to his up throw, which makes it a combo throw, and his tiny buff to his side B, which makes it a bit better in general. Those two buffs really make Bowser a lot better of a character, and kind of make so he's a character that can be used quite often right now, and make him not really high tier, but, you know, kind of where Donkey Kong is, where he's very good now. Just from a simple grab buff, and I guess a second buff also. He's gotten buffs over the time, but, you know, those are the main things. So, with all that said, I want to get into this video. Of course, in the description below, make sure to comment who you want to see for the next time. I want to start uploading a little bit more how-tos, but whenever I upload a how-to, I want to also upload a Xenoblade X video, because I do want to start getting some of those videos out, but I don't want to have to put in some extra time, you know, making top 5s, which take a while, so I kind of want to do these, because they don't take way too long, and then right after, I'll do a Xenoblade X video, or I could upload this, like, at 10 in the morning, or whatever. But, with all that said, let's get this started. I don't want to waste any more of your time for you people that don't really care. Just make sure to tell me who you want to see next week, and the person that's the most upvoted will most likely be the next person in the video, if I do play them a lot. Because some of these characters I don't really play way too much, so I couldn't say way too much about them, but I can play the majority of the characters in the game, so you can kind of say anyone. But there we go. Let's talk a little bit about Bowser. So Bowser is a pretty fast character. He is a very heavy character. He hits very hard. He's pretty quick. He has some combos now, and he has a ton of really strong special moves. He has quite a few get off me moves. He has really high priority, and he has really long range. He has a lot of stuff right now. Now he's kind of like a really good character. And, of course, his smashes are very strong. But, with all that said, let's get onto stuff in specific. Okay, I did have to open up a little list of all the moves, but now we can get into his stuff in general. So the first one I want to talk about is, of course, his jab, or his neutral attack, or whatever you want to call it. Now, this is actually probably one of the best ones in the whole game. Now, it comes out very fast, as you can see, has a lot of range, and as you can see right here, does a lot of damage. Maybe not the whole game, but it's a very strong one in general. So it does 11%, and the main good thing about it is that you can pivot, jab. Pretty dang fast, as you can see. So, of course, you can also pivot forward tilt, but you can actually pivot and jab. So what this means is that if the opponent is somewhat near you or coming towards you, you can, like, turn, jab. Or, if you're, there's a lot of other situations also. So if the opponent, let's say, jumping towards me, I can just jab. It comes out very fast. It doesn't really combo too much. You could try to go, like, jab 1 to up throw, but the opponent can get out of that really easily. It's essentially just them being dumb, if that ever works out for you guys. So don't try that way too much, but I guess you could give it a shot if you really wanted to. But yeah, jab's a really fast move, and I'm not really sure if anything can combo into it. I guess you can hit that. You can try to hit your neutral air into jab, but you don't really have any combo moves into your ground attacks in general. I guess you can do that. Up tilt into jab works fine, as long as they're not DIing too far away, and when they're at 0%. So jab, you know, it's a pretty good move, and one I actually use quite often is Bowser. Jab and his forward tilt are actually probably some of his best moves. Bowser's really good on the ground and really good in the air. Forgot to mention that. But now that we said that, let's talk about his dash attack, of course, as we see right here. Takes a long time to come out. Takes a long time to keep hitting. Has a lot of end lag. A little bit of, well, I guess not too much startup lag. Takes a while to come out, though. Doesn't kill for quite a long time. Doesn't really combo at all. It doesn't really have much going on at all. That was my phone. So, I don't really know exactly what to talk about with this move. It doesn't really do way too much. I don't use this way too much. I would not recommend that you actually go for your dash attack all too often, or else you get put in a lot of situations that can punish you quite greatly. So really don't go for dash attack too much. That's the majority of that if you are picking up Bowser. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Now let's get on to his tilts, and let's just start off with his up tilt. This is probably his best tilt for his combo game, but as far as killing and as far as a lot of the other stuff, it's not quite as good, but you'll see what it's good at. So what you can do a lot of the time is actually combo itself into itself, as you see right here. You use it multiple times, usually 1 to 2 times. Later on, I usually only go for it once and then try to combo, but early on, that doesn't work. You have to use it like 2 or 3 times or something. And then go for something like a neutral air. You could go for this a few times, and then go something like a not an up smash, that was a bad idea. For something like a up air, if I can get this right. So there we go, if I can get this. So, up air. You could also go for something like a forward air. Essentially, you can combo your up tilts into one of your aerials, if you can get them at the exact right percent. So, if I can try to get this. Come on. There we go. So, a retreating forward air, and of course, you could also try to go for a back air or down air, or I guess even a down B, but wouldn't recommend those quite as much. Mainly, though, just up tilt into itself. Up tilt also works okay in the jabs I showed you earlier, and up air and neutral air. Those are your main things that you will be doing with up tilt. And also, you can go for your forward air a little bit. It doesn't work way too well. Also, this move does kill at very late percents, but not too early, so I wouldn't recommend using it way too much at later percents. I'd go for more stuff like your down and side tilt. And speaking of that, let's go on to the side tilt. And this is probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite pivot attack in the game. As you see, it can go up, you can like pivot it, not pivot it, you can angle it a little bit, so up, straight, down, of course. Normally I just shoot it straight because that'll hit the majority of the characters in the game, but of course it can hit people like Kirby if you do have to throw it a little bit downwards. But mainly what I do with this move is I'm running away, turn around, quickly punch. It doesn't really combo, and it doesn't do way too much, but what it does do is it gives you a lot of space. As you can see, that's a lot of area that it puts out a hitbox, and of course it does a lot of damage, and also it'll kill the opponent pretty dang early. So I'm not going to try to show it because, you know, it'll take a while, but it does kill your opponent pretty early. Can't really be comboed into it too much, but really is just good if you like to have a good boxing game, if you just like to keep the opponent far away, and if you like to do stuff on the ground. That's what Bowser's really good at, or at least what is, like, thing that he used to be great at. Now he's got a lot more stuff after these buffs, but that's what he's kind of been known for, I guess you could say. So, yeah, that's kind of all it really is with the forward tilt. Really good move, though. We recommend that you use this quite a bit, along with jab. Try to do a lot of pivots with Bowser, because a lot of times you can't really approach, because all you have is your grab for approaching, because everything else has too much lag, like your dash does and everything else. So, really, you'll be a little bit more defensive with your forward tilts, with your jab, turnaround grabs. There's a lot of stuff that you'll have to do a bit more defensively, and that's just kind of how you have to do it with Bowser. It's not the most annoying thing ever, but it's not, you know, the best thing. Now that we're on with that, though, let's go into his down tilt. So, with this move, you can try to go, like, Nair into down tilt, but mainly what down tilt does is it's a very strong kill move that can be used pretty dang early. I'd say 90, 100, 110%, somewhere around there, depending on your character, the enemy's weight. But mainly, as you see, 25 damage if you hit both parts. Later on, it doesn't always hit both parts, but for the majority of the time it will, and especially if you hit closer by. But 25 damage is a ridiculous amount. Of course, you can also poke underneath the stage. He just killed himself. But you can poke a little bit underneath the stage, and this can be used very similarly to your pivot. You can, like, pivot and then go for a down tilt. Or you can just jump in, down tilt, and poke people's shields. This is a really good move at poking people's shields. Also forgot to mention, forward tilt is very good at poking people's shields as well, and just kind of almost breaking their shields, you know, getting a lot of pressure defensively. So, yeah, that's the main purpose of this move. That's really all I'm going to talk about for that, for now. So, now we're going to talk about some other crap. Let's talk about all of Bowser's aerials, and Bowser does have quite a bit of good aerials. This is one of the things I've always liked about him, because he's a heavyweight with really cool aerials. But the first one I want to talk about is up aerial. So, with this move, it's kind of like Donkey Kong's. It kills really, really early, just like the Ding Dong. And, as you can see, it comes out pretty dang fast. It doesn't combo too much. Sometimes you can do. Falling that into like an up smash or falling up air to like a up tilt, as you can see right here. Works okay. It works a little bit better at certain percents. Really depends on your character. Yeah, as you see right there, that combo pretty well. Comboed into itself. So it does combo decently fine. Falling up air is probably one of my favorite things to try to get into combos, but it's a really risky option. So I wouldn't recommend to go for falling up air too much. Still can be a good thing, and the main good part about up air is that you can go up throw, up air. And that's the main good thing that was buffed. That you can go up throw, and then of course, it does always hit pretty much, or as long as, you know, as long as you're being smart and guess their DI always, then it'll always hit, and they don't go way too far. And as you can see, it does kill, and of course this is without any rage. It kills at about 120% without any rage, as you see. That was 136, but you know, it kills at about 120% without any rage. But with rage, it can kill at like 90% or even earlier on lightweight characters. So up air is really good for killing, can combo a decent amount. It does have a very small hitbox though, and if you want falling up airs, you're going to have to time it exactly right, or else as you see right there, you're going to miss. It's a little bit hard to time, but you can hit a bit behind you, a bit above you. It's a really strong move. You should try to use that quite a bit. After that, there's forward air. This is one move that's very good at spacing. I personally don't use it way too much because it has a lot of end lag. It can combo a little bit, like or you can try to combo with it. More of strings, not really true combos. You can edge guard with this move. Just throw this off the stage, and that'll do fine. Mainly, of course, just spacing, trying to keep away, like running away with forward air, retreating forward airs and back airs and stuff like that. But really, forward air, I didn't say you should use it way too much. It's not quite as good as a lot of your other aerials. It's fine, and I do use it sometimes, mainly for the range. So if you do need a far range move, this is fine. Otherwise, I wouldn't say go for way too much. A lot of the times, instead of a forward air, I'd rather just go for a forward tilt. Not up smash. A forward tilt that's aimed upwards, or just an up tilt or something. Because, I mean, I don't know. Just like running, landing on the ground, and then going for a forward tilt, a lot of times could be a bit faster and a little bit safer than going for a forward air, because it does have a ton of end lag. It takes forever to attack after you do use a forward air. So there's all she has to say right there. After that, let's talk about his neutral air. Now this is one move that's actually extremely strong. Has always been, has gotten like buffs over and over and over again. So Of course, that makes it even better when you get a million buffs. So with his up air, as you see right here, it does insane amount of damage if you can hit all the parts. Even if you hit a few of the parts, as you see right there, it does stupid damage. 24 damage that time, didn't hit all the parts. It does about 30 damage if you can hit every single part of your neutral air. And even if you hit just a little bit of it, I have to get this guy a bit more percent to do that. Even if you hit just a part of your neutral air, it'll still do at least like 20%. As you see right there, though, you can go up throw neutral air a certain percent, and that's just bonkers. If you just go up throw neutral air, even if you hit them with only 1 or 2 hits, it still does at least a decent amount. Of course, at early percent, it doesn't work. It works at about 20 to 30%, up to, I'd say, 60%, like you're throwing it 60, somewhere around there. But, it's a really strong move. It can also combo somewhat, if you can, hit certain parts of it, like you can go neutral air into a, like, up tilt, or neutral air into a jab if you can hit certain parts, because certain parts of it have a little bit less end lag, as you see right there. That works pretty well, or a down tilt or something like that. You don't really combo it into any other combo moves, but, I mean, it does do a lot of damage. And with Bowser, he has a few combos, not way too much. I kind of oversold his combo game early on. But the combos that he has really do a lot of damage and make up for not having the most combos in the whole game. And overall, he just does a lot of damage, so he doesn't really need all those combos. But yeah, that's his neutral air. It's a very strong attack, and you should be using his neutral air a lot. Only problem about it is that it has a little weird hitbox, but it is pretty dang huge. But you do use your body as the hitbox, so it's pretty easy for an enemy to throw a projectile. That's sometimes when I'd go for a forward air, because it clanks a lot more often than your neutral air. After that, let's talk about his back air, I want to say. So his back air is a move that I use really often. This kills super early. It takes a while to come out. It's similar to, I'd say, a Zero Suit Samus back air, where it takes a second to come out, so it can be a little bit hard to get used to. You can't just immediately throw it out. And it's a little bit hard to edge guard with. But if you hit it, it'll do insane damage, as you see right there, 19 damage. So that's just huge. And, of course, it also kills really early on. That might have even killed him. If I can get this. So let's just try to show this. It will kill really early on. 100% off on the side of the stage, of course. But it can kill it like 130% in the middle of the stage. It doesn't really combo off of your up throw way too well. I wouldn't say there's much moves, if any moves, that true combo into your back air. I'd say it's more you'll get your back air with reads, and you'll also get your back air just by the opponent not DIing correctly, not air dodging correctly. It really just focuses on your opponent kind of messing up a little bit. It does have a lot of end lag, so if you do miss your back air, you're really screwed. As you see right here, I can't do anything for a long time, even though I'm mashing the A button as much as I can. So it does give you that, but if you do hit it, it's 19 damage, an early kill move. It's a little bit risky. It's one of your riskier moves as Bowser, even though you think all his moves would be risky, but, you know, this is just one of the more risky moves that he actually has. So yeah, that's the general with that. And then the final one is his down air. This is, in my opinion, his most useless move in his whole kit. I almost never use this move. I still can't really find a reason to use it. It's very easy for the opponent to see it coming, as you see right here. It takes a while to actually start up. And sometimes if the opponent has any air physics, they can just, like, with Game & Watch, he can up air you and you won't actually fall for a while. And then he can punish you with that. So, I don't really know. It doesn't really combo into anything. It doesn't really kill way too much. I guess you could try to dunk people with it, but most of the time that's what's going to happen. You're going to be killing yourself instead. I wouldn't say go for his down air way too much. A lot of the time I'd just say go for down B if you ever had a chance to go for down air anyway. And that's really all I'm going to say about the down air. There isn't too much positive I can say about it. If you have any little strong text that you know about it, then make sure to tell me in the comment section. But from what I know, there's not too much about it. All that said, let's continue. And now let's get to the special portion of this show, where I talk about all of Bowser's special moves. And let's start up with the special that I feel like is Bowser's best, which is his up special. Now, of course, it's a recovery, which, if you just press up B once, you'll go a little high. But if you mash the up B button, if I can get this, you'll go quite a bit higher. So you want to make sure you mash that B to go a little bit higher in the sky. But the main use of this move is to not actually go high in the sky. It's to actually be in your shield and then up B out of nowhere. Or if you're just running along the ground, up B out of nowhere. If I can do this right. Yeah. Not running, you have to be walking. You can't actually run up B. Oh, never mind, you can. I'm trying to... Yeah, okay, never mind, I lied. Again, you can't just run up B out of nowhere. And essentially, you can also usually do this for defense. If the opponent does something like a forward tilt, even with Bowser, then you do a forward tilt, you're shielding it, and then you immediately up B them. And that's a really good move. It's kind of really hard to punish by the enemy, and if you do hit them, of course it'll do fine, and it is just a good recovery. Really the best part about it, though, is that it can get you out of a lot of combos. If you're in the air, you can try to up B, get out of some of them, same with the neutral air. And also, really, it's just on the ground. If the opponent's attacking you in your shield, press up B, and essentially you're going to hit the opponent away free of charge, and there's not way too much they can do about it. That's probably the best part about his up special, or his up B if you like to call it that. Other than that, though, let's talk about his side B, or side special. Now, this did get a buff in the latest patch. It made it a little bit stronger, gave you a bit more control, and also, in my opinion, makes it feel like it's easier to use. like easier to grab them. I don't know if that's actually the buff. That's just what I feel. But now you actually have quite a bit of priority again. It's not like as much as you had in 3DS, but it's still quite a bit of priority. With this move though, of course you can put people off the stage, and now a lot of the times on most maps, if not all maps I think, it actually makes so you die at the exact same time. I'm not sure about all maps, but you know, majority. So that means that if you kill the opponent with your side B now in a tournament, this always kind of happen, but if you kill the opponent with a side B, of course, really early on, even without a tournament, a lot of times it'll kill them. As you see right there, he lives sometimes, but quite often it'll kill them now, so that's actually a pretty nice thing, and it does result in a lot more ties, which a lot of times the tie goes to the runner, which would be Bowser in this case. So that's kind of nice. Also, the thing about it is that you can just run, and it's like a grab in the air. It's a command grab. You can hit it at any height if you're good enough. As you see right there. Hit it right there. You can control it, go left to right, and of course the enemy can control it. It does 18 damage, and essentially it's just a really strong move. You can try to go for like jab 1, side B. A lot of the times your jab 1, you can go jab 1 into other stuff. It's not true for the most part, but a lot of times the opponent won't really see it coming because they'll be expecting the second part of your jab, because that's just what you'll be doing most of the time. So you can try to do that. Your side B will take them far. And also, if you are on a stage with platforms, this one doesn't have platforms, sadly. If you are on a stage with platforms, you can up B, side B, and it'll take them on top of the platform. You'll bounce on that, and it'll kill them really early on, even up to like 60%. If you have rage, it'll kill about 60%. Normally about 70-80% otherwise on medium weights, maybe 90% on heavy weights. It's a really strong killing move, and of course it does insane damage. So really, it's a strong attack, and it is a command grab, so the opponent can't shield past it. They can't do anything except for really attack you or air dodge. That's their only options against this. Or I guess spot dodge, if you want to count that. Other than that, though, let's talk about his neutral special, or his fire. So you throw this out. I don't really ever use this move, also. This is probably my second least used move other than his down air. So you can throw this out. You can try to use it to edge guard. This is the only time I really use it. A lot of the times, I'd rather try to go for something like a, like just a down tilt or down smash or something off the edge. So I don't really know way too much when to use it, but I mean, you can if you really want to. I wouldn't say use it way too much though, and it doesn't really do way too much in general. So other than that though, let's talk about a down B. So this move is one that'll kill really early. If you use it on an opponent's shield, it'll essentially immediately break their shield, and then you can of course do a lot of damage. You can just throw this out of nowhere in the air. I would not say use your down B too much. If you use it too much, the opponent will see it coming, and they'll easily know when to dodge it. But if you use it maybe once a game, or once a match, once a set, something like that, maybe even twice, a lot of times they won't see it coming. I would not say to really ever be in the air, just be like floating in the air, and then just go for a down B. It's way too easy for the opponent to see that. But what you can do sometimes is if the opponent for some reason is coming right towards you, and you are, let's say, trying to move this. Let's say you're just right above them, or right next to them. You can try to go for a quick down B. And a lot of times people won't really see that, especially if they're going for something like a grab. You can jump over the grab a bit, and then go for a down B. That's a nice thing to do. And the thing that I do most often is I see an opponent, they're running towards me, and then you just down B them, hit the first part, hit the second part, and kill them. Only do that very minimally. Don't do that way too often, or else they'll see it coming, and then they'll essentially just completely beat you out, because of course, it's really easy to beat this. If they just attack, if they spot dodge, or if they do anything, it can be really easy to dodge in general. It's not way too hard, but it's a strong move overall. So after that, let's talk about his grab. He has a very far grab, a very good pummel, does a lot of damage. Usually I pummel only once, and later on twice. It's very slow, but it does 3% itself, so it's nice. And it's a good grab range, if you see right there. And of course, pivot grabbing, it's even huger, as you see right there. His hand just goes all the way around. It's giant grab range. But of course, let's talk about what you can actually do off of his grab. So, his forward throw, this is a kill throw. So you use that off the side of the stage, and it'll actually kill the opponent. I'm not going to bother to show it, but it is a kill throw. Just take my word for it. Other than that, you have your down throw, which used to be what people usually did. But now it's kind of not very good anymore. There's almost no point to ever really use a down throw anymore. So I'd say, kind of don't use that way too much. But the other thing that you could use is your back throw. That doesn't really do way too much. It can kill really later on, but essentially what you want to do with it is just throw them off stage. That's the really only purpose, and then you can try to gimp from there. But your main throw, which is the big buff throw, the throw that got buffed, is your up throw. And this is the throw that's probably what makes Bowser a really good character right now, instead of just, an okay character back in the past. So his up throw, as you see right here, it'll throw them right above you. But it gives you just enough lag where you can up tilt really early on and get a free hit. So just like this, up tilt, and then a lot of times they'll get away after that. So that's all you're really going to be getting in the beginning of the game. But let's say you have a little bit more percent on them. Let's wait a bit. By certain percents, you have certain exact combos. Of course, you can look up some guys or whatever with Bowser, but in general, in medium percents, I like to go for neutral air. It's really hard for them to get out of that. And also what you can do, let me try to set this into medium-ish percent, so like 20% or so. So if you throw them like this, you can also try to go for a forward air. Or if you really want to, I guess you could try to go for a back air. I'm just going to try this once. I'm probably going to miss. It's really hard to hit. And of course, that's just banking on the opponent failing. But you could try to go for that and get a really early kill. Especially if you're facing this way, you can like try to jump over here, back air. That can work sometimes, and that was nice that I got that. But really the main thing about this is, of course, up throw, up tilt at early percents, and even medium percents right there. You see it still works. But probably the best part about it is up throw, up air, which works at almost all percents, as you can see right here. And also combos into, oh, you grab right there. And also combos into a kill move, so you can go up throw, up air, and it'll kill them pretty dang early. Of course, Rage does never apply in training mode, so you won't be able to really see that. And of course, you do have to somewhat read people's DI at later percents. I keep failing. So you do have to read it at later percents. But if you do happen to read it finally like that, then you will kill the opponent really early on. And especially if you're on a place like Battlefield or Yoshi's Story, you'll kill even earlier. It's a really strong move in general, and up throw, up air is probably one of your best combos. Of course, you can also go for up throw neutral air about 20%, and up throw forward air if you really want to go for that. But finally, I want to talk about his smashes. So he has his up smash. This comes out pretty fast. It clanks with almost every attack in the entire friggin' game. Clanks with a lot of stuff. Has a ton of priority, and it does hit 2 parts. So if you miss the first part, the second part, him landing on the ground, will actually hit the opponent. Does a lot of damage, and it can also kill. As you see, the second part hit right there. Nothing really combos into it. With all of his smashes, he doesn't really have anything that really combos into them, so you kind of just have to get reads on the opponents, and that's how you get a lot of your kills with Bowser. So, of course, up smash, it's decent. Comes out pretty fast. The next one, down smash. This one comes out very fast. As you can see, it does 16 damage, total damage. And it's kind of similar to your up B. A lot of times I'd rather just go for an up B because it's a bit safer, but, you know, your down smash does work pretty well, and it can kill the opponent early-ish percents. Up and down smash kill pretty early. But the main good smash for him is, of course, its side smash. Takes a while to come out, but it does have a lot of long-lasting frames, so it's hard for the opponent to come back a lot of times. Or if they try to spot dodge, a lot of times you'll hit them anyway. It does take a while to start up, it does take a while to end off, so if you miss, you're kind of going to be in big trouble. But it's probably one of his bread and butter. If you hit this, you get a really early kill. This might even kill. Yeah, right there. You see it kill. Of course, that was charged, but not being charged, you can still kill at about 60%, somewhere around there. And, yeah. That's really all there is to Bowser. He has a lot of good stuff about him. He can, of course, combo with his throw, combo with his neutral air, and somewhat with his up tilt. He has a lot of kill power with all of his tilts, with his smash attacks. And, of course, I forgot to mention, he is very heavy. He's the heaviest character in the whole game, aside from Shulk with the shield and auto, of course. But he does also have a lot of speed. He's a pretty fast character for being so heavy. Like, he's not even very slow. And a lot of his moves come out very fast. He's a really good character right now, and I'd say you might actually want to try picking him up. If you picked up Donkey Kong because you thought he was pretty good, I'd say you might want to pick up Bowser for pretty much the same reason. He's very similar to how Donkey Kong was. A decent character that became a very good character, kind of overnight just from a few buffs, or in this case, 1 or 2 buffs. But that's really all there is to him. He's a really good character, and he's somebody that I would definitely recommend that you pick up. Very heavy, and actually has a pretty decent recovery. Can be gimped pretty easily, so make sure that your main doesn't really get gimped, and also make sure that your main, I don't know, try to make sure that this guy's a little bit different than your main, but he's a nice one to pick up, and he's a nice person to actually have as a main as well. Very strong character right now, and I recommend that you pick him up. He can do pretty well in tournaments. He doesn't have the best chance against somebody like Sheik, but, you know, he does decently against him, does decently against Mario, decently against Pikachu. You just have to make sure that you space really well, and especially on the ground. Try to keep them away really well, and you'll do at least fine, especially in smaller local tournaments. Well, that's all that said. Thank you guys for watching. Tell me who you want to see for next week. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to press the like button, and I'll see you all next time.